title of today's episode is Dating Modern Women Sucks. Not a question, it's a declarative statement.
I just feel like women might not be for me. Let me just say that the dating of lesbians, okay, is fucking trash.
In every same-sex relationship,
Yes.
somebody has to assume the other role.
There exists a subgroup, the nice guy. A dying breed of chivalrous, romantic, domesticated gentlemen whose qualities are desired by the opposite sex. Allegedly. However, they are dismissed and confined in such concepts as the bestie, work husband, and the dreaded friend zone. Joe, Jason, and Manny are the last of the nice guys.
Well, hello there. It's nice to see you, even though I don't see you. It's nice to hear you, even though I don't hear you. But I bet it's nice to hear us. I'm Jason. That's Manny. And you're tuned into another special Last of the Nice Guys podcast as we continue to avoid the 100th episode because we can't get our shit together. Manny, how are you?
I'm wonderful. I'm
Manny looks incredibly uncomfortable right now.
I got my hoodie on, so
He
you
got
know
his
what
hoodie
that
on
means,
again,
son.
and he's got his glasses on, so he's got
You know
it.
what that means.
So today's topic for this special is inspired by a post that I saw on Instagram from an at JFK Gomez on Instagram. The title of today's episode is Dating Modern Women Sucks. Not a question, it's a declarative statement. And this post states clearly, and I quote, fellas, even lesbians are officially tired of dating modern women also. Welcome to the club. So I'll play it for you right now, and this is funny, and then we will discuss, because that's what we do in the hood. Wait. Here it is.
I know I can't be the only one. I just feel like women might not be for me. Let me just say that the dating of lesbians, okay, is fucking trash. Okay, it is absolutely fucking trash. I can't be the only lesbian stud, whatever you want to call it, that is actually getting tired of dealing with women.
I think that, and that's it. So yeah, that was basically I guess 3 or 4 lesbians saying that they're tired of dating modern women. And in the comments, basically it was their, sense of entitlement, it was their unappreciation, their diva mentalities, I want, I expect, I want, and lack of reciprocity. And I guess because you're the stud, you're the how do I want to say this without getting canceled? You're playing that role in the relationship. You're expected to pay, and romance is one way kind of a thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's the situation that they find themselves in lately, and I find it funny because then us men are like, hey, check it out. Welcome to the club. We've been here. This is what we've been dealing with. That sense of entitlement and all that lack of reciprocity and romance. Because it's funny because that's the thing. Dating is kind of a one-sided thing. One person courts, the other person receives, kind of thing. One person courts, one gives, one receives for the most part, at least in the beginning of courtship. You know what I'm trying to say? And so society, at least here in the States or most places, the man courts the woman. And so the man is expected to. Did you spell your name like that on purpose?
Yes.
Okay. All right. For those who are not watching, he put man, all right, Manny, right? And the M is uppercase, the AN is lowercase, and the NY is uppercase. And I was just like, Yeah. So
Well, I mean, your name is still wrong. So
no, oh snap. That's what I get. That's what I get for talking
so
shit.
yeah, you want to talk
That's what
shit.
I
Your
get.
name is still wrong.
That's what I get for talking shit. Hold on. But let me do it the
However,
proper way.
however,
There you go.
that is one of my old nicknames because I am a man from NY.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, I'm Jay's son, and I'm a son, so that's why I capitalize the S and the N in my name. But yeah, so that's what it is, and it's funny is that what I question is when you're in a situation where, like I said, courtship, one person's chasing the other person for the most part, there is no reciprocity in the beginning of courting. There just isn't. It's the man chasing woman. So when it's two women dating, who's assuming that role? And I naturally assumed they both did. You know, they're both interested, so they would both court each other and take each other out and give each other flowers and, and kiss and touch and
Touch
whatever.
and kiss.
Yeah.
Um,
But I guess not. I guess when it comes to a more masculine woman in
woman.
that relationship, that
Well,
if
in every same-sex relationship,
yes.
somebody has to assume the other role
But do
for
they have
whatever
to
reason.
really? I didn't expect that. I thought if it was two men, they'd both be, the men in it, and they would be, reciprocal to each other, and
It's
the
a
same with
very rare
women.
case that I've seen that it happens
Really?
like that. But normally one usually always defaults to, the more feminine or whatever the case is,
No,
which is
of course that I know, but I'm just saying is that because you're both men, and they know that men traditionally are the ones that are courting, that they would court each other equally. And same thing with women, if women are gonna know they want to be courted, they're gonna want to be courted equally, so they're gonna put equal or semi-equal. I don't know, maybe I'm just ignorant, but I naturally assumed that because of that, that there was more natural reciprocity in same-sex dating than there was in opposite-sex dating. Because there is no stigma, there is no social requirement that okay, two gay men date, but the more feminine one it needs to be courted. And if two lesbian women date, that the more masculine one needs to do the courting. I don't think you see that. I don't think is permeated in the zeitgeist. You know what I'm saying? In our culture. So I assumed it was gonna be like, I like you. Oh, I like you too. I'll take you out. Well, I'll take you out the next time. You know what I'm trying to say? That maybe
you
it's just
you
me.
you would think that, but it's not,
Really?
unfortunately. Yeah, because there's always the princess mentality that's always present in somebody or both, which is
So
why
when
it
it's so
doesn't
when it's
work in
so
both of them.
when it's both, then they both treat each other. I guess it's a
It's
dreamy world, I thought.
I
I
mean,
really thought.
can you imagine two masculine men dating each other? Like each one of them is trying to outdo the other one. It's just
But
like
but but but
my arms are bigger than yours, bro.
but they're still doing something, you know what I'm saying? Like they're still engaging. It's not one-sided. I guess I'm just I wouldn't say ignorant, but I guess misinformed because I really thought that if reciprocity existed in courtship at all, it would be in same-sex dating.
It
I really
doesn't.
thought I really thought so. All right. What are your thoughts on the video I just played?
So I have something to read while we're discussing,
Well,
but
then read it. Read it, Daddy.
I find it more proof that dating sucks. Um, today's society has just ruined, and I reiterate this every time we talk about dating. Um, Society today has ruined the fantasy, the morality of
What part of
dating.
society? What part of society are we referring to?
Social media,
Okay, media. Got it. Okay.
social media, and just the upbringings of everybody because the expectations are too damn high nowadays.
Hmm.
And um, I hate to put this out there, but
Put it out there.
I'm gonna do it anyway because I don't care. And that's just that kind of, and I'm wearing my hoodie, so I know I'm protected.
I know that's right.
A friend of mine hit me up the other day, and he's screenshotting conversations that he was asked or that he had with a female that he just met, and he goes, "Bro, can you?" He's like, "Am I crazy?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So he shows me the text messages, and he says, I used to like, I've known this girl for a long time, but her and I used to be close back in the day. We kind of fell off, life happens, people separate and they go their separate ways or whatever they have you. And, through social media, we reconnected, and off rip, she was like, "Oh, hey, how's everything going? How's your life?
That's
What's new?"
exactly what they do.
Right. That's how
Just
they break the
like
ice.
that's how they do it.
And
Sorry,
how's
that's happened too many times.
life?
It's triggering me. It's triggering.
What's new? But you're gonna laugh, just like I laughed when he showed it to me.
Okay, okay.
Um, and how's life? What's new? This and that. He's like, and he explains what's going on. She doesn't go into that in depth of what changed in her life. It was like basically like, oh, hey, what's your favorite color? Oh, I like blue, but then I like certain tints of blue. I
Yeah,
like this, that. And then her response was, I like all colors. So it was just really dry with her response of how different her life is. And then that lasted for like 3 days. And after the third day, it was like, "Hey, good morning. How are you?"
who said
I
that? He did to
She
her.
did. She
She did
did.
to him. Okay.
Yeah. So she said, "Good morning. How are you? I have a question to ask you." And from what he was telling me, he was like, "I was looking at this like, what the hell is she gonna ask me? Like,
I love it. This
this
is
is
where you get
weird."
excited. I'd be like, I'm all ears.
So
I'm
then
like, damn, she wants me. She wants to know if I still have feelings for her. I can't
right.
wait. I'm so
So
excited.
the response,
Yeah. I'm
the
telling you,
question
I've
was,
been here before, so this is really like I feel anxiety.
the question was, um, I'm stuck on the side of the road. My car broke down. Can you loan me $200 for a tow truck?
This is a hypothetical question.
No, this was a question that she asked him after like 3 or 4 days of the, what's new with your life, nonchalant nonsense, ice breaking conversations. So then he tells me, he's like, "Am I wrong for telling her, like, hey, we've never really been that cool for you to be asking me money like that?" Um,
I've said that before.
so yeah, I don't know if I don't know about this question. So then her question was, "Well, I really need the help. Can you please help me?"
Right,
And
right, right, right. So, okay, all right. So that scenario is, huh. If it was up to me, because she came back 3 days, 2 days earlier, this wasn't an emergency. This was pretty much something premeditated, is what I would think.
yes.
And so no, she played him. She played him something. She's playing him, and he's probably a nice guy, and they have that history, and that's the reason why. Yeah. So I want to hear more about this. Tell me
So
more.
so yeah, so he's like, "I'm not tripping, am I? Like I've told her like we're not that cool enough. We've never been that cool." He's like, "Actually, is this a fake account? This is how I know this is a fake account because you appeared out of nowhere and then you start asking me for money. So yeah, this is definitely one of those scam accounts." And she's like, "What do you mean? We had this whole conversation about this and that, and I told you some things about my life and this and that." And he's like, "So that what does that mean?" He's like, "That's how scammers are. They try
True.
to relate, they try to start up, conversations, and they try to like, relate with what you're going through in life or whatever by making up stuff." He's like, "So I don't understand how this could not be a fake account."
Okay.
And
That's
then,
a good response.
right. So when the first part of the conversation started, it was like, I want to say maybe noon, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It continued on to like 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock at night. Because
After your friend was like, nah.
you're right. And she's like, "Oh, well, can you still help me? This and that." So then he was
Where has
like,
she been all these with the broken
all
down
this,
car?
right.
Okay.
So he was like, Am I crazy? Is she still on the side of the road? Just waiting for $200 to call a tow truck? He's like, I'm not losing it, am I?" And I was like, "Nah, bro, that's pure nonsense."
Right.
And then the next day, like he just basically at this point just stopped responding. And then the next day comes around and she's like, "Hey, you never really answered my question." And then
Damn.
he then screenshots and shows it to me. He goes, "I think she's still on the side of the road." But
Wow.
the whole point of the story is basically like, the dating world sucks. There's always some sort of expectations from women when it comes to men, especially, for some sort of financial backing.
Right, right.
And it's just ridiculous. At this point, it's not even it comes in all forms of and all types of relationships. You don't even have to know the person very long for them
No,
to
of
start
course
asking
not.
for money.
As long as they think you're that dude or you're that person to ask or you have that history. I have a story. I mean, it's a really quick story. If you guys remember the girl who pretty much, I mean, the one I referred to in the portrait of a breakup, and I basically said she was a terrible girlfriend and everything like that. There's a couple of episodes
The
ago.
one whose clothes you put in the trash.
Yes, yes, the ones whose clothes I put
I
in the
remember
trash.
that one.
There is context to that, people. So those of you who haven't listened to that episode, go and look for it. It is episode
Something, something.
no, because that sounds really bad when you say it. I need context before because I'm not that dude until you push me to that dude. Portrait of a what? Damn it. Portrait of a first date. God damn it. I'm looking, guys. I just saw it too. Um, talk or something. There it is.
Oh,
Nope. Hold on.
isn't
Portrait of
there
a,
like
episode 47. Episode 47. Portrait of a breakup from a man's point of view, and it basically explains. But anyway, yes. So yes, the one who stuff I threw in the garbage. She reached out, right? And same thing. She reached out, and but this time she really tried. She reached out on Instagram. She reached out on WhatsApp, and back and forth and back and forth. I stopped answering. She had it's been a couple of years. So like she would reach out on my birthday, and I wouldn't answer. She reached out again, I wouldn't answer. So this is like 2 years later now, or 3 years later. No, it's 3 years later. And she reaches out again, and this time she's really not gonna stop. It seems like so. I said, okay, you know what? I'll respond. What's up? What do you need? And nothing, I'm just, I'm getting older, and I know I did you wrong. Are you still mad at me? I'm just like, I'm not mad. I don't care. Like, but why are you reaching out? What's going on? And she's like, no, I just know that I'm getting older and I just don't want, I'm not trying to mess with your dating life or anything. I'm not trying to, I just know that I don't want anybody to hate me and I really would hope one day you'll forgive me, blah, 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 blah. I'm just like, uh-huh, this is weird. Whatever. Skip forward. And I humored her for a day or two just to see where it was. Skip forward about 2 weeks. And she then claims that she has some kind of illness. She's in the hospital. She does send me I think did she send me a bracelet or something? I don't know. But she's in the hospital or was in the hospital. She's got an illness, and she says to me, "Can I borrow $1,000?" I responded with, what the fuck? Are you on medicine? Like you're on medicine, right? That's what that's basically saying that you're crazy because you must be on medicine to be asking me this. And she doesn't respond. And then I think a couple days later she goes, "Hello," and I go, "Yes?" question mark. And that was the last time she responded to me or reached out to me again. So yeah, this same thing happened to me. Exact same thing that happened to your friend. Happened to me with an ex.
Oh, and the next morning when the text message came out, like, "Oh, can you help me out? Can you answer my question from yesterday or whatever the case is?" He's like, "Yeah, I don't know about loaning you $200. I'm a little uncomfortable with that idea.
At least he responded.
Whatever."
He didn't do what I did and saying are you fucking crazy? He was
And
nicer
then
about it.
no, and then it gets there. And then it
Oh,
goes to, well, how about $100? I'll appreciate that if you do that for me. And he goes, "Yeah, you got to be out of your fucking mind. I'm sorry."
so she's bargaining now. She's haggling with the request. This doesn't
Right.
sound urgent at all. This sounds weird. Who is this person to this guy?
Just some person that he knew from like back in the day that I guess they knew each other from comings arounds or whatever the heck case was. And it's pretty funny because the whole time he's looking at me and he's just like, "Bro, like, I'm not stupid or crazy, right? Like, this is insane." I'm like, "No," because apparently the first request was because she was on the side of the road and didn't
Right.
have enough money for a tow truck. And then here we are a whole another day later, she's still looking for some money for that tow truck.
I
So
I I would I would have to really like I don't know. I would have to one it's two questions. One is why do you think I'm that person to contact to ask to
right,
borrow money? That's one. And then two, what could you really be trying to do when you're claiming that this is emergency? Emergency is an emergency at that moment. Clearly, you've either got rescued or at least you got home. What do you still need this money for? And you know what I'm saying? Like how do you I don't know, like how do you pick your marks?
right,
That's why I ask what was this guy their history because there has to be something okay, so either she's incredibly desperate and she's going down her contacts and respond and asking every and anybody or there's something in their past where she feels comfortable to ask this dude, yo, you either simp for me or you're a nice guy or you're somebody you're an easy mark that I can ask this and I can pull your heartstrings and you'll do it. That's why I had to ask that question because I know for me, and again, not putting myself down, it's just reality. I was that guy for many women. They knew that, yeah, things might have gone bad between me and Jason, but give it a few weeks, a few months, maybe even a few years. I reach out, he'd be right there for me. And he was. He actually was. So when I couldn't get mad at my ex for reaching out for $1,000, whether it was a joke or not, I don't know. I couldn't get mad at her because I set that precedent. I allowed her to come back and forth in my life over 10 years. And other women who can probably call on me did it today and try that crap. They won't get it, but I couldn't be mad at them because I set that precedent in my 20s and in all of my 20s. These women knew. Yeah, I can, curse him out or I can hurt his feelings, but you know what? Give it a few. I reach out, and he'll be ecstatic. He'll be excited to hang out. All I have to do is dangle the idea or just something, and he'll be there. He was. So I have to
yeah.
ask your friend, what
I
would
don't
you?
know. I don't know what the history is between them two, but had it been me,
Yeah,
I would have never set that tone for anybody.
right,
Like it doesn't matter. Like there's no chance in hell. Like I have kids. He doesn't
hmm
have kids.
right,
So for him, it's like it's I guess it's easier. But
correct,
I got kids, and if you're asking me for something like that, it's gonna be a hell no right off the top
right, right.
because I'm not giving you something that and we barely talk, we barely know each other, and and you're asking for something like that off rip, and there's no guarantee I'll get it back.
No,
No,
the phrase is, and we've talked about this before, don't lend money you can't afford to give away.
exactly.
If I lend money, I'm giving it. They may not know I'm giving it to them, but I know in my mind I'm giving it to you. And so I don't ever lend money very often, if at all. And if I do, it's giving away. And that doesn't mean those of you who may or may not owe money to me not to pay it back now. You should do the right thing. I'm just keeping it real, is that that's my philosophy. Because if you don't, you've lost a friendship right there, or you lost an association because usually that's what happens. And that's another reason why I try to not why I've in past tried not to borrow money, and I've definitely tried never I've done it in a long, 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 long time because I don't want to be that guy. But then again, I'm also a guy who doesn't like to be indebted to anybody. I hate that it weighs on my conscience. So I tend to like give it back as soon as possible. I think the last time I borrowed money, let me stop that there, was for my friend Holly. She I wasn't struggling, but there was certain things that I wanted to do, and I was losing a timetable for my son's 18th birthday. So my friend Holly's like, "Hey, listen, I'm going to be pulling from my 401k because I need to make a loan out of it anyway. You want me to take out a little extra so you can pay off the balance of the what is it? The venue where we were holding his 18th birthday. You pay off the balance, and then that'll free you up. You can pay me back in increments because it's due every like 2 months. You can pay me back in increments, and then it frees you up to then get the extra things you wanted to do. So Manny, you were at that party. If she didn't give me this loan or offer this loan to me, I would never have gotten the remember the Hora Loca, those girls
Mhm.
and the big robot.
Yeah,
That costs a lot of money.
I
But
bet.
renting the venue was costing me was the big bulk of it. And I didn't have enough to pay my increments into the venue and also get the extra things. So she allowed me to get that and I appreciated it. But please believe Daddy paid, in increments of $400 or $500 every 2 months until that money was paid
But
back.
see, the difference is you have that relationship with Holly, that trusted in that bond there.
Right.
I don't think he has that with her.
Well, clearly not.
And
Clearly not.
and that's the crazy part of it. And that's what that high expectation comes from when it comes to women in the dating world, or just normalization as it is how do you ask somebody you barely know for anything like that?
Well, because she's well, you probably don't know her, but maybe she's attractive. Maybe she thought that he was feeling it, in the past, and she's like, yo, you know what? If I just like dangled it or something, I don't know. But the way you started off, where she's like, hey, how are you? Cool. How's your life? He gives a dissertation. She gives a cool. My life is same old, same old.
Right.
It was just you open. She literally only opened up the door just to ask for that money.
That's basically what it looks like to
That,
me.
that's what that's still what it was. Clearly.
So I told him, I was like, and I'm gonna text him a little later and ask him. I said, well, what I'm gonna ask him, like, what ended up happening? Is she still sitting on the side of the road, or like, are we gonna ask questions about
I
anything?
wish
Like,
I wish he called her out and said, you know what? Send me a selfie right now of you on the side of the road.
but
Let,
here's
let,
here's here's the other thing too, like, and I've dealt with this before where I've had to have my car towed, but that's covered by my insurance.
correct.
So
Well, not all insurance has tow. That's something you need to
right,
add, or
right,
not everybody has AAA either. So if you're
but
gonna,
that's the thing. How do you not know whether or not you have this, or off rip, you're just like, I'm stuck on the side of the
no,
road. I need
she
money.
probably doesn't have it. She probably doesn't have it. She probably has PIP, the basic insurance, and doesn't have roadside assistance. That's what it's called. Doesn't have AAA. You know what I'm saying? And honestly, if you don't have AAA or roadside assistance, if you're calling a random tow truck company off rip,
Off rip.
off rip, it's gonna be pricey. So I can
Oh yeah.
see that. I can see that, especially if you're far away, because towing just around the corner is like 50 to $100. So what?
No, I was reading off the things that I got to read about this whole lesbian
Oh yeah, I forgot
thing
all
or
about that.
whatever.
Okay. Well,
Um,
let's move on to let's move
and
on to that. So before we can wrap it up,
and the first thing is exactly what I said earlier.
see what I'm saying? All right, bring up
Uh,
what you were bringing up.
it
What's
says
what's it called?
so
What's the article
it's
called?
article is called 8 reasons it sucks to be in a lesbian relationship, brought to you by a site by oh I'm sorry, I'm saying this a lot. A site by Thought
You know
Catalog.
what? Can you send me the link in the Zoom chat
Yeah.
so I can read along with you? Because that's what I do in the hood. I don't know why I keep saying that. I love it though.
Because of my hoodie. I know I got it.
I
I
know that's
understand the
right.
reference.
Okay,
I
off rip.
I I understand the reference.
Off rip.
Off rip.
Off rip.
All right, there it is.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so
I'll put the link in the description for any of you guys that want to actually check out this link, like I usually do whenever we refer to a something
article or
something with
something.
the
Okay.
face.
So the first number one is the thing that I said earlier. The inevitable irritating question of who is the man?
Yes.
Every time you mention your partner to prehistoric, unimaginative individuals. Hate to point out the obvious, but here, or hate to point the obvious here, but maybe, just maybe, two girls can fall in love precisely because they don't need that masculine aspect to their romantic relationships. There does not have to be a man in a relationship to make it work, which is correct, but there's always somebody who's a little bit
But
more
there's
versatile.
roles, right? We like you
Right.
discussed, there are roles, I guess, that are inherent in relationships, and some people conform to whichever roles they are, even if they don't know it, even if it just happens.
Right. Number two, periods. She's on hers, then you're on yours. Then suddenly you're both sinking,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
it's
yeah, yeah. That's really a
it's
thing, huh? Cycles sync. That's so
apparently
weird.
apparently
I love being a
um
man. I swear to God.
yeah. And it's a week of wild accusations and crying at completely ridiculous adverts or any kind of cute fluffy animals.
I
Too
think
too much ice cream, chocolate, and regretful decisions are typically consumed and made.
I am not going to say that the menstruation cycle doesn't mess with their hormones. What I am saying is I
It does.
think. What do you mean? But they have control. I'm sorry. I mean, they could if they start feeling weepy because of a dog, they know, you know what? Let me stop. I mean, you have intelligence. You can sit there and be like, you know what? I know it's that time of the month. I need to just chill instead of allowing those feelings to run rampant and go nuts. I don't believe in that. I believe that yes, that there is. a hormonal change that can affect your behavior. But you're smart enough to know around the same time of the month that if you start thinking and acting weird, then you should be on your P's and Q's for that week and just chill. Don't act on your immediate emotion. Don't act on your immediate
So,
thoughts.
sir, you're under the assumption that women are smart. Not to play.
I apologize. I apologize. I withdraw my logical consensus.
Number three, for reasons unknown, others find it acceptable to march right up to your girlfriend and blatantly flirt with her when you're standing right there. Yeah.
Like who? Apparently drunk people
No,
think lesbian couples are fair game. Okay.
in
I
for a penny, out for a pound, a saying I'm pretty sure was said by a guy who thought he could take two lesbians home for a night of drunken debauchery that
I
could
mean
inevitably label him a god amongst men.
unless they're like French kissing in a club or a bar, how are you gonna know they're lesbians? Because most women, when they're out, are touchy-feely with each other. You have no idea unless they overtly do something like that.
Well,
And
and I don't think that's what this point is coming to. I think
uh,
it's more or less like,
that people that
okay,
know that they're
yeah, like
lesbians.
we've already established that we're lesbians and we're together, and you as the man are still
No, it
trying to
says
like,
here,
well,
it says
I can
apparently
take you
drunk.
both
No, it
home.
says apparently drunk people, not drunk friends, not drunk associates, drunk people. So it screams, you're in a bar, you're with your girlfriend.
Right. But then you have the drunk guy that comes up to like, oh, hey, you're hot. Oh, this is my girlfriend standing right next to me.
Oh, okay, so so
Oh,
so, so they bring it
oh,
up.
so you're saying your guys are lesbians. Can I take you both home then? I'm okay
Oh,
with that.
so, oh, I can turn you both. That's whatever. Okay, it's not okay. Whatever.
It's a
Carry
thing.
on.
I've seen it happen. It's
Have you
fine.
seen it, or
Yeah,
have
I've
you
seen it
done
happen.
it?
I've never done it, sir.
Yeah, whatever.
If I've done it, it's happened.
Oh shit. Off rip.
Off rip.
I'm gonna title this episode "Off Rip." Nobody's gonna know what it's gonna be about. They're gonna tune in and be like lesbians, modern
Yes.
women.
Point number four, when the status of the relationships is hazy, the words exclusive and dating become harder to explain or find than the gold at the end of the rainbow. There will be many tears and passive aggressive text until the definition of both words are firmly documented and followed. Even when it
That's the
is
same thing with if it's a
yeah,
guy and a woman. The woman is just instead of it's the same thing. Okay,
but
this is a stupid
it's the
article.
same thing from one party going to the next. This is basically saying it's both
That they're
parties.
both saying it to each other.
Yeah,
Like,
they're both
are we
saying it
not?
like, are we
Are we
not? Well,
not? Are we? Are
what are
we?
we doing? What do you want to do? Well, I don't know. What do you want to do?
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, can you imagine having a conversation with or being in a room when two women that are supposed to be together, like, what do
Uh-huh.
you want to eat for dinner?
Well, that'd be great. I don't know what you want to eat. Anything. Yeah, I'm good for anything too. Okay, so what do you want to choose? No, what do you want to choose? No, no,
Right.
you hang up. No, you
You
hang up.
hang up. No, you hang up.
All right.
Um, Even when it is stated, it will need to be repeatedly discussed at length just so you both know what the rules are. This method of relationship is exhausting and ultimately kills the exciting buzz that made the two of you want something in the first place. Yeah. Can you imagine that? Just going back and forth all the time, constantly. So are we still together? Like, do you still like me? Like, what's going on? Like, oh my God. Like yesterday you kissed me,
What?
today you
Like
didn't
what?
give me a
Oh,
kiss.
oh my
What's going
God.
on?
Like you didn't text me when you
Oh,
first wake up. Oh my God, my God, my God, my God.
you didn't text me when you left this
I don't
morning.
know. It doesn't work with men, won't work with women either, so who cares?
Number five, the talking. So much talking about you, them, and the mysterious equation that makes us. Oh, that makes us us. Communication is a huge part of any relationship, but for lesbians, it seems to take on a whole nother concept. In lesbian relationships, talking is no less important than breathing. The question, what are you thinking, is dreaded on a daily basis and can lead to much more than unnecessary passive aggressive eye rolling.
But I don't know, man. I don't. I think this is more of like the phrase is lipstick lesbians where they're both feminine. That one's not more masculine than the other. This sounds like about lipstick lesbians. I would assume that the in the relationship where it's a stud or a butch or whatever you want to call them, that this wouldn't happen because they would be more masculine. They wouldn't be acting like this more so. If I do you have lesbian? You ever had lesbian friends?
Yeah, I got a couple of them, few of
Okay,
them.
then so you should be able to relate more. I've never had lesbian friends, so I don't know. I've only ever had gay friends, and that's about it. And it was only like
I can
two
tell
couples.
you I can tell you that just because the fact that they are both women, they
Uh-huh.
are obviously both more in touch with their emotions. That is not something that can easily be ignored just because you are a lesbian.
I don't know.
Um,
I don't see a stud being like, "Yo, girl, this is how you made me feel."
listen,
Like I'm feeling hard
don't
inside.
don't mistake studs for not being emotional or feminine because they
Um,
do have their feminine ways. They're just more prone to hiding it
to
better.
stomping a bitch out.
Yeah, they can talk a big game, but they're at home crying like little fucking bitches anyway.
Ooh, okay.
Um,
Carry on then.
um,
Ooh, get to
but
number
I
six.
mean,
Get to
think
number
about it.
six.
That's why studs get all defensive when you're like, hey, what's up? And you're like, nah, I like what you like. Like we running this.
Well,
The same thing.
that's the same defensive you'd be if a gay man went, "Hey, cutie, what's up?" You go, "Nah, nah, nah. I'm
I
not
don't
with
get that
that."
defense. I'm like, nah, you're looking the wrong way, and
Same
that's
thing,
it.
but but that can be seen as defensive.
I don't get um what do you call it?
That's probably because when the dudes keep coming at them, they get more and more aggressive and more insecure about it. Guy, you know what I'm saying? Like I don't think typically I don't know, man. In my experience, a gay man approaches you, you're like, nah, I'm not with that. You know, they'll be cool. But if a gay guy kept on going, yo, but I can turn you, I can see a little sweetness in you, blah blah blah. You start getting more and more defensive and more insecure and puff up your chest a little more.
Yeah, but men normally don't do that.
Correct. No,
Women, on the
yeah.
other hand,
No. What men do kind of not take no for an answer sometimes when courting a female. Sometimes they think no is try hard or stupid.
yeah, that can happen, I guess.
So I can see, so I don't take that away from them. I can see them getting more, getting more self-conscious because they probably look, you see me as a woman and you don't, and it's disrespectful to them too. You don't see that you think that just because you've got the golden wiener that you're gonna turn me like if I'm some kind of like bisexual or a temporary lesbian as opposed to like this is my life. So I can see it as you can be offended. They're gonna get offended.
Yeah,
So I see
of
it.
course.
I respect it.
Number six, the death of sex. At
Yes.
at the beginning, you were tearing each other's clothes off. Now holding hands together in bed is as exciting as it gets. This could be due to too much pressure or the fact that one of you isn't feeling it. Ultimately, whoever makes the first move is the same one who sets herself up for embarrassment. You can see the pattern forming.
It's not the same thing, but that's the same thing as heterosexual relationships. You know, the
Right.
sex dies, but the man, however,
I
for the
will
most
s-
part,
I will
yes,
say,
say it.
judging by the name of the person that wrote this article,
Powered by WordPress.
his name is Lou something, so it could be a man. I'm not saying that it could be because Lou can also be a woman's name, but I'm just
Lou
saying.
Crowley.
Right.
And
I
when you
don't know.
click the name, oh, that doesn't mean anything. There's just three articles this person wrote. Okay.
So it could be a man, which is why half of this doesn't make sense for lesbians, but don't at me. This is just something that we're reading from this article at this person who wrote
No,
it.
of course. Well,
Um,
that's fine. But no,
point number,
this sucks.
yeah, point number seven. Trying not to be the one who is obviously more into it. Oh God. Yeah, this is
That's games. This is games. This is games.
girls are brilliant at mind games. Put two girls in a relationship together, and a kamikaze of subtle, sneaky mind game goes on. You want her to go out with her friends, but you also want to be invited. She wants you to ask her if she's okay, but if you ask too much, then she'll think you're too keen and will become increasingly unenthused with and bored of your relationships. I mean, yeah, I could see that
You know what?
happening.
Just fellas and stutters, just quit
Quit
dating,
while you're ahead.
just quit dating. This is why reading this is making my head hurt, and it's why I stopped dating 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago now. I stopped cold turkey. You know what I'm saying? Like the only time I interact with females now are two of my two friends. That's it. Or if I'm going traveling. That's about it. I'm looking for a companion for some adventure I'm going on or something. Other than that, I'm left alone. This is just aggravating. Who wants to do this?
Times two.
Times two. See, that's why in that thing it says that dating modern women sucked. And I can only imagine you compound what makes a modern woman a modern woman on top of this list, and you're just like, yeah, man, I got to figure out how to like dick. That's pretty much
Yeah.
what they was like. I can't do this.
All right.
Crazy.
And the final point,
Who
number eight.
cooks?
Yeah. Who cooks? Who cleans? Who starts arguments? Um, any form of PDA makes someone uncomfortable and leads to gawping.
What's
Sometimes, I don't know what gawping is. Sometimes we just like to hold each other's hands and go under the radar. We also don't need to shout out. We also don't need the shout outs reminding us that we're lesbians. After all, we all know what's going on under the sheets. Just let us stroll down the street and be a cute couple like any other billion other couples around
who
us.
who shouts out, "Hey, lesbians!" What are you talking about? What was this written?
It's got to probably be like that awkward person that's like, "Hey, I got lesbian friends over there," or whatever.
What do you what do you, what do
There
you
is the awkward individual that likes to over speak.
who?
It's
Who?
random, but there is somebody
It's
who just
random,
doesn't
but
read.
no, they just said we want to be low key, we don't want to be outed, we don't want to be reminded. It is so normal now that you see two women kissing or you see two women holding hands, you don't even think about it. So what are you talking about, bro? Or sir, ma'am, whoever wrote this? What? Let's
They,
let,
them,
let, let, let
energy.
us just stroll down the street and be a cute couple like all the other billion other couples out there. Exactly. You already blend in with all the other couples out there. Who's catcalling? Lesbian! These are my lesbian friends. Did you see they're holding hands? They kiss and they bump and grind in the bed. Like, who does that? I mean, yeah, I can see it if you say that there's an awkward friend, but that means they're awkward in general. They say the same thing.
Right.
Those are my two heterosexual friends. They have sex when we're not together. Look at them. Look at them. So it's not a lesbian thing. It's just that you're an awkward friend
You
and you
know,
do
you
these.
know, you know they have kids, right? You know how they got there, right?
That's right. You know the other, right?
Like, what the
Four
hell are you
kids.
what are you
Four
talking
kids.
about? They fuck. They
You know what I'm saying?
fuck.
Like kind of a thing. There was a movie like okay, did you ever watch Cloverfield, the original Cloverfield, the first one?
Yeah.
The monster movie. Okay, and it's the party before the monster comes, and the guy tells HUD, who's the one with the camera, that yeah, me and Beth, his best friend, we had sex, and he's like, and walks away. And so just before the monster hits, he goes around to everybody in the party and says, "Rob and Beth had sex. Robin Beth had sex."
There you
It's a
go.
montage of him telling everybody that Robin Beth had sex. I get that, but that's because it's who he is, not because he has a fascination with a heterosexual couple, or if
He's
it was
just
two
an awkward
an
person.
awkward person. That's what he did. He went around telling everybody that Robin Beth had sex before.
And they couldn't read the room. We
Right?
also
No,
have
he
people that don't know how to
definitely
read the
could
room
not
either.
read the room, and so what I'm saying, and that was about it. I think I think you got excited for the title, and it wasn't what you thought it was.
It wasn't. I was looking for something that more
Something
or less,
spicy. Yeah, something
yeah,
spicy
that dives into the
into the modern
wide,
women.
yeah.
We kind of got off
What
topic. Well, before we wrap this up, let's get a little deeper, as she said.
put a Dr. Manny special on it?
You should put a Dr. Manny special on it.
Um, I think dating is hard just overall today. Um, I would presume, and I've seen many articles, memes, jokes, um, whatever have yous,
I love Googles.
Google
Google this
listings,
noodle. Yeah, Google this noodle.
Google's listings.
Sorry, what?
That show,
We're talking about lesbians, dude. I'm
I
lonely.
know,
What do you want from
but
me?
I don't know what's wrong with you. That show, that there is a high percentage of hetero male on male relationships
Oh, okay.
are far more
Healthy?
successful
Okay.
than hetero relationships and even lesbian relationships. And a lot of the reasons why lesbian couples especially do not work out, it's because of today's how much today's society and modern women have ruined dating. And this is not me. I'm just quoting what I've read. Um, because it's just a constant, like and we still haven't figured out if this was a gag or not. The bar that shut down after one night because
Oh,
nobody
right.
ordered
Yeah.
drinks.
Yeah, we got to figure out if that's a gag or not. But it was an article. It seemed
But
legit to me.
I can see that happening. The
Correct.
first all women bar shuts down because no one bought a drink.
A bottle. Nobody bought a bottle. So maybe somebody bought like one drink. But if you have 100 women and they all buy just one drink and you got no big bottle service, you got nothing crazy going on. Because remember, the men are the one that buys the women the drinks.
Yeah.
So a man will probably, and that's times two. So the man buys his drink and buys her drink. So any man is typically buying anywhere from 2 to 10 drinks
Yep.
on his own. Which is women, they're gonna buy one, maybe two each.
And they're
That's
expecting somebody else to do
correct.
it.
So that's a whole third of the revenue right there. 2/3 of revenue gone. That's a bottle service, the money that men bring in, and then what women may or may not buy for themselves. And they're not gonna buy. They're not used to buying for themselves. They're here looking to be bought for. So
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a sad state of affair for today.
it is. It is. It is. And that's why I don't miss it at all. I don't miss being on dating sites. I don't miss getting to know anybody. I don't miss going on first. I don't miss spending any money. Oh my God, any money on date? I couldn't imagine I'd be doing any of the traveling that I do if I still was courting women with the amount of money it costs to go on a date. You have to spend at minimum 150. That's not true. Yes, it is true. It is true. Unfortunately, modern women don't want coffee dates. Modern women don't want movie dates. Modern women don't, the whole traditional dinner and a movie, let's go to Chili's and go catch a movie. That's that high school stuff. That's that maybe early 20 stuff. Not, and that was even before, and that was, without social media. Social media has shown what princess treatment looks like, spoiled treatment looks like. And you know what I'm saying? You have girls that literally don't care on their dating apps saying, I want the princess treatment. The best way to get at me is to spoil me. All I want is your money. They put these things in their profile. They don't care. Like
Right.
that's how serious it
And
is.
that's the sad state of affair as it is now.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't remember if I sent the video in our chat where the girl gets in the guy's car, the guy sits down, and he's like, "Oh, what you want to do? You want to go eat?" And she's
Oh
like,
yeah,
"Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah."
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah,
he
yeah.
starts naming off restaurants, and she's like, "No, no, no." And he's like, "Well, you clearly don't want to eat then." And she's
Right.
like, "No, no, I want to eat. However, everything that you just listed off, that's not where you go on a first date."
Correct.
And he goes, "Okay, well, where do you want to go on a first date?" And she starts naming off these
Like
five
these
star,
high
high
class.
class
One of them was
restaurants.
Nobu, and as soon
And
as
as
he,
soon as he said Nobu, which I think was like the
third
he got
option.
out the car,
He got out
went
the car.
around, and told her to get the hell out
Yeah,
the
you can get
car.
out. You can get out. It could have been a bit, whatever. But he's like, what do you mean we're not gonna go? He's like, no, you said you wanted Nobu, so Nobu, I didn't get out. And he started laughing at the end. Like it's kind of
But
how it is.
can you imagine this dynamic times two?
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the issue with the dating world, and again, not just for the lesbianism or anything. It's just the dating world and the high expectations has just ruined everything. There's no reciprocity. What's the word?
Reciprocity.
Yeah, that word.
Reciprocity. Don't worry, you got me too when I
Reciprocity.
I still can't say
Rep.
what was the
Nothing's
word?
being reciprocated. There you go.
Correct.
Um,
Reciprocity.
Reciprocity.
Yes, respiration of city.
Espresso.
Esposito.
Just
Esposito.
the act of that is like, what do you do for me?
Mhm.
Before I even start considering what I should be doing for you, and the setting up of like our future lives together and marriage, like everything is just the fantasy world and the reality. It's just it's ruined everything. And
Oh
I don't
yeah.
even know
Oh yeah.
where it started from. I don't know where it came from. I know Disney played a big part of it
Yeah.
because
But
all of the
Sims.
Disney
Oh,
princesses
Sims,
and all
Sims
that
did it.
stuff.
Sims did it, and being able to see the and being able to see how high class men, dare I say, what is it called? High value men treat their ladies or treat the women that they're and so you can see it now. Back in the day, it was implied or it was on TV, but now you can see how a high class man will treat a high class woman or
But
treat a woman, and then
the
they say, you know what, I should be able to get something like that. And then they will start getting expected
but
that.
the misconception of that situation is that these are men that have that based most of them, or I should say a large number of them, started with nothing. Their
Correct.
women stayed behind,
Right.
helped them build something, and
Yep.
then this is something that was built over time. This
Sometimes.
wasn't something that came off rip.
They're not interested in potential. Most
Right.
women,
And
most men are interested in potential. They want it now. Or the simps, I'm sorry, guys, the simps that are out there who
yeah.
will spend their very last dollar. I was one. I'm sorry. I did some elaborate shit, and I wasn't making that kind of money, and I had two kids. Don't get me wrong, I never lost a light bill. I always had the money to pay for my children's stuff. I never came out of pocket for that. But what I am saying though is, if there was extra and I was interested in you, that was going to you. So I was there. I was that guy. And I'm telling you, we would drop our last dollar to try and impress you, to take you somewhere, fancier, to take you somewhere, or be me. I was not really fancy. I was more of a creative guy, but the creativity that required to go on these dates required money. The things that I did, tiki rides or moonlight kayaking or certain restaurants that I try to take to Mai Kai. Like I'm running down the list of the crazy things. Like I that's why I was the one date king guy, because I would go on one date, the girl probably wasn't interested in shit either, or it'd fall off. But I used to have some crazy elaborate first dates. Crazy elaborate because I thought I had to impress the woman. I had to show her that I'm worth it. That was partially because of my insecurity, because of having two kids and how I was shocked that women my age at that time in their 20s weren't weren't receptive to that. They just weren't. They didn't think he was cute. It was like, oh, I don't want to date a guy with kids, or I don't want to date a guy with kids who was involved that much. So it made me more insecure. 'Cause I had so much to prove, even though I really didn't. So trust me, I was part of the problem. Why these women have these expectations? Because simps and will try to impress them crazy. So they expect that becomes a new baseline. Let's be real. And then they see what to aspire to when on social media and on media when they see that there are these high value men picking these women, and some of these women are in their eyes, oh, I'm better looking than her, so that means I could have attracted a man like that, or I should be able to attract a man like that, or I should be expecting that treatment because I'm on that level. Remember that scale where you're looking up
Yeah.
and you're thinking you're up. That's what it is. And it's a mixture of things. I don't blame them, but at the same time, men need to stop um, losing our minds and simping, and women need to humble themselves. And we both need to come to a common ground. And we need to accept simpler dates. We need to normalize that the first date should be simple. It should be at a
Right.
coffee. It should be at a coffee house. It should be
We need to normalize getting to know the person and their intentions before
correct.
dating ever starts. Because if you get into a situation where you don't even the intentions aren't clear, and then you start going on dates or whatever,
Right.
anything can go south after that.
Well, I think you
So,
can you can get to know somebody, find their intentions with lower key dates first. Maybe the first two dates are lower key, and in that there is no, oh, I'm gonna fake it with this guy because he's taking me somewhere cool. You're in a neutral place, even the guy who's paying, and you're getting to know them. You work your way up to the expensive dates. You work your way up to the elaborate dates.
right.
You don't
But
start. That's why it's funny because that's what it is. What's the complaint that most women say? When you first dated me, you took me out all the time. You spent all this money on me. When we're finally together, you kind of fall off. Because that's what it is. We burn
right, I
ourselves
got
out in
you
the big,
already.
right. We burn ourselves out. We do that too, but we burn ourselves out in the beginning that we don't have to try so hard anymore. You know what I'm saying? It should be that should be earned. When I get you, now to keep you, I should want to do bigger and better things with you and vice versa. Not at the beginning. You see what I'm trying to say? We're
Right.
starting at the wrong slope. That's what it is. And I'm telling you right now, if I was dating, and God help me if I ever consider dating again in any kind of serious way, it would start small. I would offer a coffee house. I would offer at one point I had the beach date where I took most of the women that I was dating, a few women. We went to the beach. We did banana biking when banana biking was there at Hollywood Beach. And then we would go to the taco spot or one of the restaurants that were there. And that was actually pretty, it was cute, it was fun, but it was also not, it was inexpensive. It really was. And within that date frame, I was able to know, can you hang? Are you fun? How do you deal with an uncomfortable situation? Because the banana bikes were very hard to use. You had to use your core,
Hmm.
and if you got frustrated, I know, yeah, you're not it. But if you play with it, you had fun with it. Like one girl couldn't get it. She couldn't get it at all. And instead of flipping out, she said, "Hey, let's just drag these into the beach and lay on them in front of the ocean." I said, "Yo, that is awesome." And we did. We dragged these suckers all the way to the beach. We laid there instead of pedaling, and we talked. And because you have to use your core, we just kind of gave up and just let it lie like this. So I lied like this, and she lied like this, and we talked. It was like
But
kind
see,
of like
that's reciprocated effort.
No, because she didn't reciprocate anything. She just she that's
No,
being
your idea was the banana bikes, and she's like, "Hey, it's not working out for either one of us, so why don't we
no, no, it was
just
working out.
do
It was working
this?"
out fine for me. I was kicking ass. I love banana bikes, but no, that was her rolling with the punches. But yeah, sure. She could easily call the date off, but no, she decided to figure it out, and she's like, you know what, we can just do this instead. I was like, that was great. That was cool. She was a nightmare, later on that night and whatever. But that moment, I was like, yeah, you know what, this girl's got it.
I don't
So,
think, I have very few dating stories because,
because you were married for 55 years,
yeah, that was part of it. But even like before my marriage, when I met my ex-wife of 165 years,
right?
um, we didn't really start on like high dates either. It was like my thing is
But you were
I'm all
young.
about,
But you were
yeah.
young though. Okay.
I was young at 123.
Correct, right. But so the income wasn't there to do the real dating. It was just kind of like, hey, I like you. Can we?
But even still, like the thing for dating for me is like I need to know. That's what I said. Like I have to understand what your intentions are before I even discuss dating and where we're gonna go out to eat and if I'm gonna take you out to eat anywhere, if we're gonna
Right.
watch a movie or whatever. Like I can't take a perfect stranger somewhere because I need to know. I guess
So
because
so
of
how so how would you ask out a woman? If you see a woman that you're interested in, you would walk up to her and you would try and get her number, try to get to know her, and then ask her out. But
no,
how would you?
I
Okay.
would just engage in some form of conversations, and if it's something that I can see that is a continued and reciprocated effort,
Uh-huh.
um, then maybe a number exchange at some point, but it wouldn't be off rip. I can't, I don't like going up to perfect strangers and be like, "Hey, what's your number? You're hot."
Okay.
That to me, like
So
that
then,
bothers
so then
and it's
you were basically,
awkward.
so then basically you were meeting women in common spaces like your job or your school or your neighborhood then, because that's the only way to be able to get to know somebody without exchanging numbers or seeing them enough
I've
to get, because you
I've run
can't,
into a random like place and met somebody, and it just became like a, hey, it's an every Tuesday thing or an every whatever day of the week thing,
right,
and we've developed some form of
rapport.
rapport and then
Okay.
a number exchange or whatever from there. But for
Okay.
me, my baseline is I got to start off as some form of a friendship before I can even consider taking you out anywhere.
Oh, then you're screwed because that's how you get put in the friend zone, buddy. That's it. If
No,
you
it's
don't,
worked out. It's worked out for me pretty well in my entire life.
for
That's I've
a
had
hundred,
really
that's 165 years ago. We're talking about modern women now. That's not going to
right.
work.
I know it's not going to work, but I don't give a damn because I don't like
God
modern
damn.
women.
God damn.
If you expect me to fulfill your high expectations or your high needs at this point, I don't. No, I'm good. I'm
Hmm.
I'm immediately I'm not trying.
Oh, no, of
I'm
course.
not,
Of course not. Of course not.
I will immediately shut this shit down and walk out.
God damn. No, I mean, people have asked me, Jay, you refuse to date, you're done. But what if a woman showed interest in you? I would be like, no, no. But they said, okay, well, what if they like really showed interest? I said, if they showed interest in me and they really tried and there's absolutely no effort on my part, then sure, I'll give it a shot. You know what I'm saying? That's how serious
But
I've gotten against it now.
it's like the phrase
You have to
says,
spoon feed me. You have to spoon feed me a nice, attractive woman who's all about me, and then maybe I'll be like,
right? It's like the phrase says, don't go after the people that like you, or no, I'm sorry, don't go after the people that you like. Go after the people that
that
like
like
you,
you. Correct.
because the people that like you actually like you for who you are, and you don't have to wear a mask or anything of the
But
sort.
in this day and age, the people that like you, that you tend to attract, usually are the ones you want. That's the thing.
Those horrors can stay away from me, damn
You know
it.
what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying is that, and unfortunately, you can't control who's attracted to you and what you're attracted to. And you typically, and this is how it is with everybody, typically the ones that want you, you aren't attracted to. The ones that want you, you don't want. For like dating down, like we talked about before, for a woman, or it would be dating down, and for a guy, it'd be like, F it, or I'll just bang or something like that. So
That's why I
I get
just
your
stay.
phrase, but it's harder
That's
to.
why I just stay in my show and just
That's what, yeah,
call it a day.
no, I feel you. And that's the reason why I stopped too, is it just isn't worth it. It's too expensive. Sorry. Final thoughts on dating modern women and lesbian relationships. And I don't really know what I'm titling this anymore because we went everywhere and borrowing and lending out money.
Uh, well, the topic started with unfair lesbian relationships.
Correct.
Um, keep your head up, stud.
All right, there you go.
Or 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 Sheman, whatever.
Sheeman. Ooh, I kind of like that.
Sheman.
Yeah, Sheeman. I
Um,
like that.
but it's tough out here for everybody. It's just nice to know that there is a certain percentage of women, again,
Mhm.
not saying that good for you, but
Yeah.
it's good for them to know that this is what we've been living.
Yes,
So you
I
have a
think I
form
think
of
it, I think it, I
understanding
think
of
it
it.
gives men validation. Is that
Right.
now women, heterosexual women, or even just women in general, can't say, "Well, it's you men. You guys just aren't man enough for us." And then if the lesbians are now, some lesbians are now saying this too, it kind of validates the men and kind of puts more of the spotlight back on women. The typical women saying, "Hey, listen, if the men are saying it and the studs are saying it, and all that's left is what friggin' the pets, like now it's time to start taking accountability. I just really believe that most women, or women in general, especially modern women, you've got to humble yourself. I'm not saying dating down. I'm not saying compromise. I'm not saying What I'm saying is you need to humble yourself. You need to look at potential, and you need to stop expecting um the high stuff. It's like I told you guys in this podcast before. I tell my sons, before you do something nice for a woman, before you do something nice for a woman, or you want to take a woman out, you have to ask the question yourself, how have they earned it? And the answer has to be more than I want to. Just because. You have to give me a reason. Well, you have to give yourself a reason. What have they done to earn this behavior from you? If not, keep it light, keep it simple. Don't buy nothing, don't take them anywhere. How have they earned it? Oh, well, what are you saying? Girls must do something for you to get something? Not really, but you've got to earn it. Why do you believe you deserve the princess treatment off rip? Without anything, just because you're pretty, or just because you said hi, or you humored me. That's not enough. You have to earn this behavior. And I've told this many times to him. To get the best of me, you have to earn it. You're not going to get me lending you money. You're not going to get me picking you up. You're not going to get me running around and doing stuff for you, or being there, or being available. No. How have you earned it? By your
Exactly.
persona, by your personality, by your behavior, by your interaction with me, by your reciprocity. It has to be earned. And that is my final word. Thank you for tuning in to Last of the Nice Guys podcast. And remember, that's not the right
That's not how
podcast.
we end
That's
it.
not how we end it. Thank you for tuning in. This is the end of the Last of the Nice Guys podcast, and thank you for your time.
The Last of the Nice Guys. Follow, like, and subscribe on Twitter and Instagram at Last Nice Guys, Facebook.com/Last Nice Guys, or email lastoftheniceguys@yahoo.com.